Hello there and a very good evening to you. Welcome to TV47 and News Tonight. The topics just for you. Tonight, Azimio MPs in Nairobi say it is all systems go ahead of the Azimio Sabasaba rally in Kamakunji on Friday as details emerge of a secret meeting between Azimio principals.
Our former Prime Minister atakuwa hapa kama kiongozi wetu, kama kinara wetu, na yeye mwenyewe atakuwa hapa kutuongoza.
Also tonight, Interior CS talk staff as wave of terror intensifies, the latest leading to the death of over 20 in Mandera.
Msiwe na huruma na hao watu. Wameua afisa wetu 5 jana usiku pale Rwak. Mahali mimi mwenyewe nilikuwa mchana.
Plus, civil rights groups are up in arms over a proposal by some MPs to amend anti-corruption law to give convicted graft suspects room to hold public office.
We as Citizens Agenda Pillar want to condemn this brazen attempt by the MP of seeking to let the corrupt off the hook.
And business paralyzed for the better part of Thursday at the Busia County Assembly as hundreds of jobless youth storm the premises.
Serikali tumeipigania na serikali gavana alisema kwamba serikali ni ya vijana. Sisi tunataka kuongea na mwenye umbwa.
Forcing the governor to intervene.
Hizi points nimezichukua. Zile ndaweza kutatua saa hii. I'm going to talk to specific groups tuelewane utaratibu.
Welcome to the bulletin. Catherine Similo is on the sign language interpretation and news to Stanley Irungite. You can always talk to us on our socials below your screens. Now, first off, Interior says Professor Kithure Kindiki has issued a warning shot at all Al-Shabaab terrorists a day after a suspected attack on the Special Operations Group in Mandera County. The CS asked security agencies not to show any mercy when dealing with the armed groups. On his continued visit to the vast north, Interior Science Professor Kithure Kindiki made his way to the county of Turkana. He arrived just hours after touring Mandera County, which fell victim to another attack. According to the National Police Service, police in Mandera are investigating a suspected Al-Shabaab terrorist attack following an ambush on the Special Operations Group SOG at Ogoren location within Mandera County. Kindiki wants the security agencies not to show any mercy.
Gari wetu msiwe na huruma na hao watu. Wameua afisa wetu 5 jana usiku pale Rwak. Mahali mimi mwenyewe nilikuwa mchana. Na mimi narudi huko. Narudi huko nikajiunge na ofisa wetu ambao wako kazi pale.
Preliminary investigations indicate that the resulting heavy gunfire exchange between the officers who were on patrol and the militants left 20 militants fatally injured and 8 NPS officers injured. Police also recovered assorted weapons from the scene of crime.
Sasa siwezi kukaa Nairobi na kuwaacha wanaangamia pale peke yao. Hata hii Turkana South Game Reserve, mimi nitaingia huko na officers wangu huko ndani. Mpaka tujue kati ya Kenya na serikali ya Kenya kwa upande moja na magaidi tujue ni nani mkubwa.
His visit to the north comes at the backdrop of increased attacks in the north. More than 30 people, the majority of them security officials, have been killed in separate attacks by the terrorist group near the Kenya-Somalia border. Officials say the attack started after Mogadishu launched attacks on the terrorist territories, displacing them. After a lull of almost 8 months, the first attack was reported in Mandera on May 2nd, 2023.
Kila saa wanafanya vituko vyao, tunafanya operation, baada ya wiki chache wanarudi tena katika hiyo vituko. Si ni kweli? Safari hii ni safari ya kuwaondoa kwa mapango yao, tuwaondoe hii Kenya, tuwapeleke mahali wahalifu wanapelekwa. Na ikiwezekana wakijaribu hii mchezo yao paka na pata potea ya kujaribu kuumiza askari nyorosha hao watu paka wapotee.
Investigations into the attack are ongoing. And from matters security, listen to this story. 3 senior female managers from Brown Cheese Limited in Limuru have been arrested and will be arraigned on Friday at the Limuru Law Court over claims of forcing female employees in the company to undress at work. To believe it or not, check who was on their monthly periods. The company, through its head of finance and administration, says they are conducting internal investigations and have suspended the 3 managers. Let's get more details.
At Brown Cheese Limited company in Limuru, female employees were on Tuesday allegedly forced to undress to check who was on their monthly periods after a sanitary towel was found disposed in the wrong bin. And as bizarre as this sounds, it was fellow ladies, female managers, who are said to have committed these abominable acts.
The company is fully cooperating with the police, and the company will be conducting a full internal investigation. All individuals involved have been suspended pending the company's investigation.
The 3 whose full names were not provided will be arraigned Friday at the Limuru Law Court.
Tuko nao kwa cell, statement ziliandikwa na wanaenda kotini. Na tulikuja kugundua ni kitu ilikuwa inaendelea ambayo ni kitendo mbaya na unyama zaidi. Kosa watastakiwa nayo ni indecent act ambayo ni makosa ya sexual offenses.
While condemning the incident, Kiambu County Woman Rep called on the senior managers at Brown Cheese to apologize to the employees who are now facing stigma over the indecent acts.
Hii kampuni ya Brown Cheese wachukuliwe hatua na hatua kali ambayo itakuwa lesson kwa watu wale wengine, hata ikiwezekana walipe hawa mama fidia ya kuwafanyia madharau.
The barbaric act has left a bitter taste in the mouths of Kenyans, particularly those on social media, with many calling for the adoption of the menstrual hygiene management policy.
And the latest from that unfortunate incident is that the Brown Cheese company, through its head of finance and administration, has since apologized to the women who were forced to undress.
And allow all employees a chance to discuss the matter with an external party. We will also be engaging with experts on women health and sensitization to ensure that nothing like this ever happens again. I have apologized to the women involved, and we would like to apologize to the wider public as well.
Quite unfortunate. Now to matters politics. Tonight, Azimio coalition leader Raila Odinga will Friday lead the opposition to the historic Kamukunji grounds to launch what the opposition calls the Third Liberation. Odinga, who chaired a full coalition principles meeting at the Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Foundation, is set to launch the coalition's nationwide demos on Friday, meant to bring civil disobedience and boycott tax. A day that coincides with the commemoration of Saba Saba Day that marked the birth of multi-party democracy.
Ahead of the Saba Saba Day commemoration that marked the end of single-party rule, and one which the Azimio coalition has called the launchpad for the Third Liberation. Details of a multi-pronged campaign to the launch emerged on Thursday after a meeting of Azimio principals chaired by Raila Odinga and a section of his allies. Hours to the Friday launch, the opposition has been mobilizing their supporters in numbers to march to the Kamukunji grounds for the Saba Saba rally and in the country's former 8 provinces.
Kesho katika uwanja wa kihistoria, vile mnajua hapa ndio chanzo cha wakati wa the second liberation ya Saba Saba ilikuwa wakati kina Gerald Otieno Kajwang walikuwa hapa wakisema Saba Saba. Sasa hiyo Saba Saba ya 2023 kesho inaanzika hapa rasmi.
Na tunawaambia ya kwamba kesho the only traffic we need is the traffic of the people. We don't need watu wa magari, wekeni magari nyumbani, utoke huko nyumbani, fiwe liko juu. Kesho kujeni mfike hapa Kamukunji.
Azimio, which says Friday's rally will be peaceful, came with conflicting statements on how the day that starts with a major rally at Kamukunji grounds will unfold, with some quarters stating the demos will start at the rally to Nairobi CBD Centre, with other reports suggesting their supporters will also march from the city's 17 constituencies, a move seen as a ploy to confuse the security forces and catch them off guard.
Tukishamaliza rally ya kesho, tutakuwa na maandamano ya amani kuelekea sehemu ya town ili kuweza kuona watu ambao wataungana na sisi. Kwa hivyo tuna ratiba kamili, hatutaki kuongea kitu ambayo itatoka kwa ratiba yetu. Ratiba yetu tumeshapanga na mwelekeo yetu itapeanwa kesho, na tumesema wananchi wote tunawakaribisha kutoka saa 3 asubuhi tutakuwa tumefika sehemu hii.
A section of Azimio insiders have also dismissed Friday protest narrative, instead saying the day will mark the beginning of a non-violent movement that begins with a tax boycott and civil disobedience to force the government to remove punitive taxes and what they say is respect to the rule of law. Apul Kamau, TV47.
And matters education, the Teachers Service Commission has said it will require up to 134 billion Kenyan shillings, which will be required to employ 111,870 more teachers in the next 5 years. TSC says this will aid in curbing the shortage of teachers being experienced in the country as the implementation of CBC continues.
In the 2023-2024 budget, the Teachers Service Commission was allocated 4.8 billion for the recruitment of permanent and pensionable teachers. Further, another 4.8 billion was allocated for the recruitment of 20,000 contract teachers. And as the competence-based curriculum continues to be implemented, shortage of teachers has been a major setback in a bid to ensure 100% transition.
Mission will require Your Excellency, and we need your support because our students must learn, they are our children. We require a total of 134 billion to get our schools staffed and to see JSS go through and CBC implemented.
Further, 20,000 intern posts have been rolled out to recruit teachers, expected to fill 18,000 vacancies in the junior secondary school and 2,000 in primary school.
We did implement the teacher internship policy guidelines that has seen the Commission engage so far 54,300 teacher interns in a period of 5 years.
They have done 229,000 primary school teachers with 55,129 for secondary schools.
The launch of the strategic planning for the 2023 to 2027, TSC CEO Nancy Macharia noted that the Commission will review its internship program in what it says will establish professional development.
The total number of teachers retooled for implementation of CBC as we stand here represents 82% of the total number of teachers employed by the Commission, and Your Excellency, the remaining may be due to those that we are continually engaging.
Teachers on internship programs are expected to receive a monthly stipend. According to the 2023-24 budget, TSC received 316.7 billion, half of 628.6 billion, which was the full amount allocated towards the education sector. Nelly Lusigi, TV47.
And various civil rights groups under the umbrella of the Citizens Agenda Pillars condemned MPs Peter Kaluma and Geoffrey Kariuki of Homa Bay Town and Berry North constituencies respectively over the push to amend anti-corruption and economic crimes laws, saying the move will lead to procurement-related scandals, which account for 80% of EAC's forensics investigations. And as Elizabeth Atinuna reports, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission has also weighed in on this matter, saying the amendment will derail gains made in the fight against corruption.
Corruption remains a thorny issue embedded in the country. However, there are concerns that the fight against the vice may sooner or later hit a dead end after a section of legislators called for the amendment of laws on anti-corruption. On his part, Mbeere North Member of Parliament Geoffrey Ruku seeks to amend Section 45 Clause 2 of the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act of 2003 by deleting the two offences, which include the failure to follow procurement guidelines and engaging public funds in a public project without prior planning.
However, the Citizens' Agenda pillars noted with concern and trepidation that these positive and progressive developments that we have highlighted in the fight against corruption have been marred by some retrogressive acts of betrayal by members of parliament who should ordinarily be on the forefront in the fight against corruption.
The civil rights groups under the Citizens' Agenda pillar now say that the bill argues that procurement flaws and expenditure on unplanned projects are administrative errors that should not be addressed as criminal prosecutions, which provide legal loopholes for perpetrators.
We as Citizens' Agenda pillar want to condemn this brazen attempt by the MP of seeking to let the corrupt off the hook, and calls on him to consider doing a ruku, just like our Muslim brothers and sisters do.
The civic group has also condemned Homa Bay Town Member of Parliament Peter Kaluma following his push to repeal Section 64 of the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act that provides for the disqualification of persons convicted of corruption from being elected or appointed as public officers.
And we all know that Opondo Kaluma has been one of the most vocal opposition MP. One would have expected him to be proposing amendments that would strengthen rather than weaken the effectiveness of anti-corruption laws, as he seems to be doing. And we as Citizens' Agenda pillar and Kenyans in general are left wondering how many pieces of silver the MP may have been offered to want to bend so low as to betray the values and beliefs that Kenyans and the electorate that voted him have always associated him and known him for.
A call has now been made to the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission to fast-track the war against graft and corruption while upholding the virtues of honesty, integrity and reliability. Elizabeth Atieno, TV47, Nairobi.
And let's go over to Busia County, where business at the county assembly offices was paralyzed after youth from the area stormed the offices in the morning and locked the main gate. They cited harassment of businesswomen in the area by county askaris and being sidelined when it comes to job opportunities in the county. They also demanded to see the governor, who they say forgot about them as soon as he got into power, saying they were the ones who campaigned for him and ought not to be sidelined. Governor Paul Otuoma, in an attempt to calm them down, said the pleas were hard and he will look into the matter as soon as possible.
Betrayal. A word that describes the feelings of these youth at Busia County.
Campaigners wa governor, kiti ya kwanza ametusahau, anaambiwa tuko sawa lakini sisi tunaumia.
Reason being, promises made by the county leadership to give them jobs have not been kept.
Hataki kuongea na Nur. Tunataka kuongea na nani? Otuoma.
They say the governor has sidelined them, yet they played a major role during campaigns in helping him secure the seat.
Hii serikali tumeipigania. Na serikali gavana alisema kwamba serikali ni ya vijana. Sisi tunataka kuongea na mwenye umbwa. Tumechoka kuongea na umbwa, tunataka mwenye umbwa.
In order to get the attention of the governor, they decided to lock the main gate to the Busia County Assembly. They cited sidelining in terms of job opportunities and harassment of businesswomen by the county askaris.
Tumezoea kuhasal kwa street tukitafutia watoto wetu riziki. Sasa watoto wamefukuzwa wako kwa mlango. Hatuoni pa kukimbilia.
Kanjo sasa inatumia excessive force against our mothers. Soko zote zilivunjwa, hao mama wanaweka kibanda lakini bado wananyang'anywa na Kanjo.
Busia County Governor Paul Otuoma was forced to travel from Nairobi to Busia in order to give an ear to the protesters.
Nimekuja because it is very important. Hizi points nimezichukua. Zile nitaweza kutatua saa hii. I'm going to talk to specific groups tuelewane utaratibu.
In a bid to calm them, he assured that he would look into the matter and provide adequate solutions.
Si mumeshafikisha? Just give me time. Hata commissioner mwenyewe pia amekubali. So just give me time. You are going to see what I'm going to do.
Vera Alberta, TV47, Nairobi.
Also, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has promised the immediate implementation of the Tea Act 2020, which requires small and small-scale tea growers to register with their respective tea factories and deliver green leaf and purple leaf tea using a prescribed form. The Deputy President reckons organizing the troubled subsector will increase export earnings through value addition and will, in the long run, ensure the improvement of farmer welfare. He says he will personally oversee full implementation of proposals by tea farmers to strengthen the reforms for full turnaround. The tea industry contributes about 23% of total foreign exchange earnings and 2% of the agricultural gross domestic product. Annually, the country produces over 450 million kilos of tea, which, according to the Tea Directorate, earns the country over 120 billion shillings in export earnings and 22.0 billion on local sales.
Farmers are waiting, Kenyans are waiting. This produce is highly priced in the world. Farmers are not getting anything out of it. The country is not getting much in terms of foreign exchange earnings. So we have both a duty to the farmer and a duty to our beautiful country.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua says these numbers could be bolstered with a few contentious policy adjustments.
Everybody is agreeing that these cases are hindrance to the farmers' welfare and to the stability of the industry. I want to urge the various stakeholders to exercise tolerance and to have give and take so that we can make progress.
An estimated 650,000 tea growers who depend on the industry will be under their respective regional factories in a movement to streamline tea processing and farmer payments.
There will be many choices and alternatives. And we don't just want one alternative, we want many. We want to have a whole marketplace for our tea and for our other produces. So I want to encourage anybody who thinks you can market our tea to get the best prices in the world, will be there. And we'll have the regulatory authority open-minded to bring in as many players as possible.
He says respective stakeholders must come together to agree on the best intervening measures to make the sectors profitable to the farmers who are at the heart of the value chain. And back to matters security, Interior Sales Professor Kithure Kindiki has Thursday operationalized Lokichogi sub-county in a bid to tame the runaway insecurity in the region. This has further seen the installment of a new security leadership in the sub-county that will aid in the implementation of the strict measures set by the government to smoke out bandits who have become a menace along the Kitale-Lodo highway.
Good morning.
In a move aimed at easing administration and taming insecurity in Turkana County, the government has operationalized Lokichogi sub-county after a month's wait.
Appointment ya DCC wetu, mpigieni makofi.
Thursday, Interior CS Professor Kithure Kindiki installed the first Deputy County Commissioner for Lokichogio, Isaac Oko, who will partner with the new Sub-County Police Commander, Sub-County Criminal Investigations Officer, among other officials.
Sub-County sasa iko fully operational. Kutoka leo wananchi waanze kupata huduma.
However, Kindiki has announced that the government will gazette Turkana South Game Reserve as a security operation zone, a move that will aid in smoking out bandits who use the game reserve as a recruitment ground and hideout.
Mwenye atabaki pale ni wanyama wa polini na askari wetu wa KWS. Hakuna raia atakubaliwa pale ndani. Tusafishe ile mahali, halafu baadaye tutajadiliana ni jinsi gani hiyo game reserve itatumika.
Saidia sisi kutoa wahalifu katika uwanja wa game, our Turkana Game Reserve. Ndovu wetu wote wameuliwa, swara wetu wote wameuliwa, wanyama wengi ambao walikuwa mamahelu wote wameuliwa, na watu hawana haja kuona Turkana wakiwa na resource kama Game Reserve.
And as tension remains high along the border of West Pokot and Turkana after 4 people gunned down by suspected bandits at Chepkarirat village in West Pokot County last week Friday, area leaders have called on the Interior Ministry to beef up security along borders in the northern part of the country.
Wezesha sisi
wezesha serikali ya kaunti, wezesha jamii yetu. Haswa sasa tuko sub-county mpya ya Lokchogio, patia sisi peace committees nguvu ya kuweza kukuza amani baina yetu na majirani yetu. Ninaomba hiyo kwa sababu una uwezo na unaweza kufanya.
Hapo hivyo side ya Turkana South na Turkana East, bwana waziri, itakuwa tunadanganya tukisema eti tuko na amani upande ule. Tunapoteza watu. Hata juzi kuna mama ameuawa barabarani akiwa tu anasafiri, na hawa wenye wamemuua wana grace ndani ya Turkana.
Kindiki has further directed that an additional 370 National Police Reservists will be trained, even as the county prepares to operationalize 3 more sub-counties, which include Suguta, Lokiriama and Aro. And meanwhile, police say they were forced to intervene and disperse a group of protesters protesting against the Kisii Land Registry Office due to what they term as poor quality of services provided by the Kisii Land Registry. This comes barely a week after a section of lawyers voiced their dissatisfaction with the current services offered at the Kisii Land Registry. Speaking today, lawyers claim that the registrar had made it almost impossible for the advocates to transact land matters through imposition of superfluous regulations. The lawyers now want the land registrar replaced for allegedly frustrating the service delivery to the residents.
We are telling the land registrar that we are not going to retreat, no matter the amount of tear gas, no matter how many days the police are going to riot. We are going to give this push to the end until I end.
He requires so much that is not within the law. He will require you to procure an original title deed to the land registry. He'll even go further to, if you want to put a caution on a land, he will require you to bring physically the person to whom you want to place a caution against. I don't know where he gets those rules from.
Tulipeana ilani kwa OCS Kisii Bwana Onyabidi tarehe 4, na baada ya kupiga mimi mwenyewe na wenzangu kupiga simu mbele na nyuma, tukaongea na OCPD Mesa Ambassa, barua yetu ikapokelewa. Maandamano yetu yalikuwa halali, tulipeana ilani ya kutosha. Kabla ya maandamano yenye tulikuwa tumepanga leo kuhusu ofisi ya ardhi Kisii, na kusudio letu lilikuwa kupinga na kutaka Land Registrar Bwana Charles Morara Ayenda atolewe katika ufanyikazi wake Kisii kama Land Registrar ama Land Coordinator. Tumezuiliwa wakati tumeanza maandamano yetu kutoka kotini.
And police in Kayole are investigating a case of a 51-year-old man, George Turanira, who was murdered in cold blood by an unknown assailant at his residence in Kayole, Nyando, near Gorofa Saba area. His neighbors raised an alarm upon noticing blood droplets all the way from the gate up to his house on the second floor of a 5-story building. There, they found the door open and the body laying lifeless in the bedroom. The body was found with a cut in the neck and several stab wounds on his chest and stomach. Those who worked with him say he was a very friendly man and rarely spoke about his personal life or his family, as they weren't close. His neighbors said that for the time they had lived with him, he was mostly visited by other men whom they suspect were his friends. George worked as a butcher in the area where customers said he served them on Tuesday evening before closing up to head home.
Sijajua ni nini ilifanyika. Tulimpata tu asubuhi kama ameuawa. Sikuingia nikamwona. But nasikia kulikuwa na damu kwa ndani kwa nyumba yake. Jirani yangu namjua kama mtu mzuri, ananga gomvi na watu. Familia yake sijaijua. Naonanga tu akikaa peke yake. Marafiki zake na mwananga tu na mavijana. Mavijana tu.
Tumekuwa tukifanya kazi na yeye since March this year. After nimepata information, I was in Machakos. Nilitravel immediately, nikakuja nikaenda mortuary, nikaconfirm yes, he is dead and he was very injured. After confirmation, we went to go and take the OMB number from the police so that we can continue with the investigation about his death.
Mwenzetu anaitwa George. Tumekuwa naye hapa muda mrefu sana, miaka zaidi ya 15. Vile hawa wauaji hawajajulikana mpaka saa hii. Na ile tunahitaji ni msaada ya kwamba hawa culprits wapatikana on the board so that rafiki yetu afanyiwe justice yenye nafaa kabisa, kwa sababu kama saa hii hatujajua, hata hakuna mwenye ameshikwa victim yoyote kwa hiyo shughuli, lakini mwenzetu alifunga kazi vizuri na kaingia kwa nyumba. Sisi tukafikiria tutapatana naye asubuhi, kuja kunapatana na mauaji ambayo si mauaji ile ya kinyama kabisa. Nyumba ilikuwa imetapakaa damu, mpaka hata kwa gate yenyewe ilikuwa iko na damu, which means muuaji aliua, damu ikamfuata mpaka kwa uaji. Sasa kujulikana kwake ameuliwa ni wapangaji. Wapangaji walifuata hiyo damu kwenda kuangalia, kufikia kwa nyumba yake, ndio ikajulikana kuna mtu ameuliwa hapo.
Right, some 28 minutes past the top of the hour. Take a short break, we'll be right back.
You are watching TV47, the home of untold stories.
Faven Properties Limited gives you an opportunity to be a proud landowner of 50 by 80 plots at the picturesque range of Joscan Dovoine, going for 350,000 only. We have other 40 by 60 plots in Kamulu Ngondo going for 650,000. The plots are architecturally designed in a gated community with access roads and water. We have ready title deeds waiting to be transferred to your name. Call us today on 0716 44 2277 or pay us a visit at your preferred time at Roy Post Office Building, 2nd floor.
Welcome to the Mwai Kibaki Convention Center, the premier events venue. Our state-of-the-art facilities are designed to meet all your needs, from large-scale conferences to intimate meetings and everything in between. Located in the heart of Thika, the Mwai Kibaki Convention Center offers stunning views of the city skyline and is easily accessible from all major transportation hubs. Our facility features ample parking, free Wi-Fi, advanced audiovisual equipment, and our technical team is always on hand to ensure your event runs smoothly and seamlessly. Don't take our word for it. Make your next event unforgettable at the Mwai Kibaki Convention Center. Contact us today for bookings and reservations. Email multimedia@mku.ac.ke or call us on 0708 212204 or 0727 441733 or 0721 438 629 to learn more about our services and book your event. Radio 47, tuko nawe mchana kutwa na usiku kucha. We are the The clicks get you clients. Get 4,000 clicks for as low as 1,000 bob. Get the app on the Google Play Store or iOS App Store, or visit the website www.marquee.africa. Terms and conditions apply. TV47, the home of untold stories.
Welcome back. You're watching TV47 News Tonight. And the Salaries and Remuneration Commission, SRC, has turned down proposal by the members of the county assemblies to increase the salaries to 40% of governors' gross salary, which amounts to 924,000 Kenyan shillings. Appearing before the Senate Devolution Committee, SRC Chair Lynn Mengich told senators that parameters for job evaluation criteria is stipulated in the Constitution, and SRC Act 2011 is not based on the governors to determine MCA's payments.
It was a date for MCAs, SRC and KRA before the Senate Devolution Committee to set the record straight on the recent MCA salaries and allowances backlash, which has seen over 20 county assembly down their tools.
My name is Abbas Mohammed.
County Assemblies Forum, CAF, and Association of Members of County Assembly, AMCA, presenting their case, MCAs lamenting of what they term as injustices meted on them by SRC on their salaries. Instead of reviewing them upward, they remain constant.
Is to pay taxation. Can we see the same vigor with the National Assembly and Senate? And there was no letter to that effect at that point. And your members of the committee understands how this thing works. We feel aggrieved again that we are put into double taxation on the issues of cars that are already being taxed when they're in the country. And then again, the same does not happen to members of parliament, both at the Senate and National Assembly.
That most of the members of the county assembly, including me and the others, have masters, have everything. When I was a secondary school teacher, teaching history, and Kiswahili, I was in a better job group. If you look wherever they have now placed that, it says when I come to the assembly, my cognitive ability just declines. That's what they mean. They have placed me in job group D. You just check that a member of county assembly, and we have doctors, we have so many people, that now immediately you join the county assembly, your cognitive ability just declines, and then you are degraded to job group D.
Senators led by Nandi Senator Samson Cherargei questioning SRC on failure to review the MCA salaries upwards, yet counties are received additional revenue allocation in the past Division of Revenue Allocation Act.
A member of MCA is 3,900 per sitting to a maximum of 62,400. You have given yourself 40,000, a maximum of 320,000 per month. So if SRC tries to sit today, way and above the money they're earning, they will earn 320,000 Kenya shillings.
Cannot oversight, then simply what you have decided is that the resources that Kenyans have poured into the counties will go unchecked. And so we lose. So the end game is that we as Kenyans have lost because these people are not being oversighted.
Madam, also understand oversight. When you are oversighting somebody who is earning 10 times more than you, really, how do you want him to oversight that person? That person will compromise him because he's suffering pecuniary embarrassment.
On our defense, SRC Chair Lynn Mengich told senators that parameters for job evaluation and the criteria is stipulated in the Constitution, and SRC Act 2011 is not based on governor salaries to cap the pay for ward representatives.
So that is how that's how we define the first one, which is ensuring the public compensation is fiscally sustainable. Chairperson and members, where we are today is in terms of wage bill to revenue, we are at 46%. So we are way above the 35%. We shall share with you the specifics for each county, but I can say that most counties are above 35%, some as high as 65%. But we will share the breakdown as he has rightly asked.
This comes amid calls by senators for the disbandment of SRC for slashing salaries of ward reps and abolishing their allowances.
Just running away from what you were asking about the MCAs. You just wanted to set politicians against the public for convenience. Because As members of National Assembly, including you, Chair, the Speaker, the President, we have never requested for increment of the salary because we know the economy is doing badly. The only question we ask SRC is to handle on the issue of MCS.
I'll give a good case in point.
Debate between members of county assemblies and SRC continues, with likelihood of having stalled operations in the counties. On whether this will be resolved is a matter of wait and see. Elizabeth Mutuko, TV47, Nairobi.
Now, with the country taking steps to tackle the environmental challenges associated with climate change, public schools in Kaloleni, Kilifi County have taken the duty of planting trees within the compounds and in the community, with a total of 33,000 trees planted so far in a span of 1 year. Led by Kwale Assistant County Commissioner Dennis Baraza, the activity will also include members of the community in order to expand the impact. Daniel Kihoro with the details.
The Principal Secretary at the State Department of Forestry, Ephanthas Kimotho, recently stated the government's ambition plan of planting more than 33,000 billion trees by the year 2032. The implementation of the plan appears to be well underway if the action of the public school in Kilifi County are anything to go by. This is after the public school in that area to participate in tree planting, where 33,000 trees have already been planted in less than 1 year. The activity, which was led by Assistant County Commissioner Dennis Baraza, appears to have been well received by teachers, students and parents who came out in large numbers to plant trees.
Nimepanda miti mmoja na nyumbani nienda kupanda mti mmoja. Miti ni mizuri na tupa hewa safi.
Leo nimepanda miti kama 5 na tena nitaendelea kupanda miti.
Leo niko hapa kwa zoezi la kupanda miti. Miti tunaiona muhimu kwa sababu ya miti inatuletea mvua. Miti pia hata kwa hewa safi.
Kaloleni TSC employer Nanzi Masharia, on her part, urged the parents to plant trees not only in schools but also in their homes.
Kwa hivyo mimi ni kusisitiza tu kwamba sote tuchukue wajibu huu, tupande na tutunze miti ili tuondoe hiyo hewa chafu imetutatiza, tuondoe hewa chafu ambayo inazuia mvua na turudie maisha yetu yale ya zamani ya kwamba tulikuwa tunajua ni wakati gani wa kupanda na ni wakati gani wa kuvuna.
From 2001 to 2022, Kaloleni lost more than 907 hectares of tree cover, equivalent to a 28 degrees in tree cover since 2000. Daniel Kihoro reporting for TV47, Nairobi.
And from matters climate talks and climate change to biashara. A rapidly growing urban population is forcing farmers to adopt different cultivation practices in order to mop up the increasing demands. This, however, is being hampered by limited and misleading information on smart agriculture practices, which is adding on to food production inefficiencies in the country. The Agriculture Society of Kenya now says it is focusing on information sharing and training expos that will boost agricultural research and advocate for better practices for farmers, catering to the growing markets. The organization says through a trade fair slated for September this year, sector players can interact late September to bring together experts, researchers, manufacturers, and sector stakeholders.
We have some activities, quite some activity as you see. We have tenants, we have people who hire these grounds for this and that purpose. Is that the water we have from the boreholes and the rainwater harvested through the green energy aspect is more than we need. Once we have similar facilities in various places, you can be able to organize that in terms of sectors. So that if it is agricultural products, they're in one area. You're talking about insurance, financial institutions and all those, you find them in one area. Educational institutions, livestock and all that. So we intend to do away with the scattered individual stands.
And artificial intelligence-driven influencer marketing is taking over the traditional advertisement space, where social media algorithms are being used to reach out to target audiences. U.S. Ambassador to Kenya, Mayor Gutman, says Kenya's funding for innovation for such initiatives are essential when expanding into the regional space, especially knowing that Kenya is a regional leader.
I'd say the other thing is close to the customer. You said it, Michael, in some ways, which is there a problem that you're trying to solve, or do you have a solution looking for a problem? And that's a sort of a history of Silicon Valley, too. You know, we